Attending my boyfriend's class reunion, I received a strange text. If we both fell into the water at the same time, who do you think he'd save? A wave of suspicion washed over me. Just as I was about to leave, someone shoved me hard from behind, and I tumbled into the swimming pool ahead. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw my boyfriend's ex-girlfriend lose her footing. She stumbled backwards and fell straight into the water. Without a moment's hesitation, my boyfriend jumped in after her. I couldn't swim. As I thrashed about, water flooded into my mouth and nose. Every second felt excruciatingly long. A violent tearing and burning sensation spread through my lungs. I felt like I was about to die. In my blurry vision, a dark figure was swimming rapidly towards me. Suddenly, his arm hooked under my ribs, pulling me tightly towards the surface. On the shore, I lay weakly on the cold floor as someone performed first aid on me. After retching up several mouthfuls of water, my consciousness gradually cleared. I opened my eyes, expecting to see Luo Chuan as my rescuer. Instead, it was a stranger. He waved his hands in front of my face. "How do you feel?" I shook my head to indicate I was fine and thanked him. Struggling to my feet, I looked around for Luo Chuan, only to find he had already disappeared. A large, glaring puddle of water remained on the floor. Luo Chuan took Yaoshi to hospital. People around me cast sympathetic glances my way. In that moment, my world collapsed. The sky itself seemed to turn gray. I don't know how I managed to walk out of the restaurant under the weight of everyone's pity and my boyfriend's betrayal. Pulling out my soaking wet mobile, I tried to call a taxi, only to find it was broken. At that instant, all the grievances surged up at once. I finally couldn't hold back. Large tears began to fall, one after another. Luo Chuan and I had been giving each other the cold shoulder for several days over Yaoshi, and we had only just reconciled last night. I had accused him of being too close to Yaoshi. There was no reasonable explanation for accompanying an ex-girlfriend shopping for clothes. This wasn't the first time I'd been upset over Yaoshi, so no matter how Luo Chuan explained, I turned my head away, refusing to listen. In the end, at his wit's end, he turned my face towards his and kissed me without another word. His warm, lingering breath fanned against my neck. I held his head, my fingers threading through his hair. Finally, gasping for breath, I dug my fingers into his arms and begged for mercy. He stopped, nuzzling my ear like a puppy, earnestly promising me over and over that he would never spend time alone with Yaoshi again and would keep his distance from her. His tone was firm and sincere, so I believed him. Remembering that solemn promise, I buried my head in my knees and cried my heart out. This was a bustling area. Many passers-by gathered around me, offering tissues. I must have looked utterly pathetic, soaked to the bone, my makeup ruined from crying. Finally, digging out the little spare change I had in my wallet, I hailed a taxi home. The scenery sped past the window. Cold wind seeped through the gaps, carrying my tears straight to my heart, filling it with a chill and an ache. Opening the door, Huan heard the sound and came running, winding herself around my feet. Huan is a Persian cat Luo Chuan and I adopted soon after we got together. I have deep feelings for her. Afraid she might be hungry, I prepared her cat food while still in my wet clothes. Lying in the bathtub, memories of my time with Luo Chuan involuntarily flooded my mind. My heart ached as if I were drowning, making it hard to breathe. It's laughable, really. Luo Chuan and I met and fell in love because of a near drowning. To celebrate graduating university, my best friend and I planned a trip to the seaside. Having just learned to swim, I was overconfident despite being rubbish at it. While swimming, I got a cramp in my foot and struggled, calling out to my friend for help. She wasn't a strong swimmer and was too far away, so she quickly sought help from a passerby. That passerby was Luo Chuan. He saved me. To thank him, I asked for his contact details. Over successive dinner dates, we quickly fell head over heels in love. That drowning experience left me with a fear of water. Entering water would trigger anxiety, even symptoms of breathing difficulty. Luo Chuan would gently ruffle my hair, his tone serious. "If Jeeler is scared, then we won't learn. I'll always be here for you from now on, anytime you need me. I'll never let you experience drowning again." I took him at his word, thinking he was making a promise of a lifetime together. I gave up my old flat and moved in with him. Taking a spare phone from the drawer, I calmly called my previous landlady. I asked if she had any vacant flats, and upon learning my old place was still available, I rented it, telling her I'd move back in that very night. After 3 years of living together, there were many belongings. I spent the entire afternoon packing. Throughout this time, Luo Chuan didn't call or send a single text. Instead, I received a friend request from Yao Shi. I accepted. She instantly sent a video. In the video, Luo Chuan looked as if he'd just been fished out of the water soaking wet, his hair still dripping. He sat on a hospital chair, head slightly bowed, meticulously removing seeds from a strawberry with a toothpick, his expression utterly focused, as if this were a matter of great importance. Luo Chuan is a perfectionist. Normally, he can't stand the slightest stain on his clothes, let alone perform a task while drenched. My hands trembled so much I could barely hold the phone. Staring at the plate of seedless strawberries in the photo, my heart felt as if pricked by needles, a dense pain spreading through my entire body. Yao Shi followed up with two messages. Even through text, I could sense her smugness and mockery. "You've never had seedless strawberries, have you?" He said he'd only ever removed strawberry seeds from me in his life. When you two got together, we had just broken up. I felt utterly chilled, as if plunged into an icy abyss. My teeth began to chatter uncontrollably. Huan seemed to sense my distress. She jumped onto the sofa, settled on my lap, offering silent comfort. As time passed, my emotions gradually settled. "I'll come for you once I'm settled," I murmured, stroking her fur. Then, I sent Luo Chuan a WeChat message. "Let's break up." He probably hadn't seen it, as there was no reply. Pulling two suitcases, I slowly closed the door, moving out of this home for good. The taxi I'd booked hadn't arrived yet. I found a bench to sit on, placing my luggage beside me. Suddenly, a shadow fell over me. A cold voice sounded above my head. "I don't agree to breaking up." I looked up. Luo Chuan stood there in still damp clothes, his hair windswept and messy. He looked as if he'd been running hard. He lifted one of my suitcases, testing its weight. His pupils contracted sharply. "Sujiu, that's enough. This is going too far." He raised a hand to pinch the bridge of his nose, his weariness and irritation unconcealed. "Going too far?" I stood up, repeating his words. "I almost died. And my boyfriend spent the entire day at the hospital with his ex-girlfriend." Luo Chuan froze for a second, his lips pressed into a thin line as he stared at me silently. "When you chose to save her, did you think of me? Do you remember your promises? Do you remember swearing you'd protect me for life? Do you remember I'm afraid of water?" By the end of my questions, my voice was choked with sobs. I hated myself for being so weak. I'd sworn not to shed another tear for him, yet hearing his cold voice, his indifferent tone, my resolve crumbled layer by layer. When did this cold neglect start? Probably around the time Yao Shi reappeared a year ago. On Valentine's Day, Luo Chuan and I were queuing for the limited edition Valentine's milk tea. Yao Shi suddenly appeared from behind, scrutinizing me with an unabashedly assessing gaze. Her stare made me uncomfortable. I shook Luo Chuan's hand, wanting him to shield me from her view. The moment Luo Chuan turned around, he abruptly let go of my hand, his eyes locking with hers. My heart sank. I stared at him, shocked. Only then did he seem to realize the extremity of his action. He reached out and took my hand again, but he didn't realize how stiff and unnatural his grip felt. He introduced us, saying Yao Shi was his university classmate. Later, I discovered intimate photos of him and Yao Shi on his computer, exposing his lie. He immediately softened his voice to coax me, deleting the photos as if to prove his loyalty, explaining that he'd been afraid I'd overthink things. All betrayal leaves traces. It was just that I loved him too much. That love filtered out too much ugliness, allowing me to paper over the cracks in our crumbling relationship with beautiful memories. Luo Chuan's frown deepened, his voice growing low. "Sujiu, it's not what you think. Then what is it?" I tilted my head up, stubbornly meeting his gaze, letting my tears flow freely. After a long pause, he finally spoke. "Yao Shi has moderate asthma. I've seen her have an attack. It's very serious. She can't get overly emotional, and she shouldn't swim." I panicked in that moment. My mind was in chaos. I stared at him. And me? Couldn't I have died? He remembered every detail about Yao Shi, yet forgot my fear of water. Luo Chuan said nothing. Looking at his speechless face, I suddenly felt a hysterical urge to laugh. I took up my phone and showed him the video and messages from Yao Shi. "Right. Of course you wouldn't care about me. I was overestimating my importance. If you still love her, why did you bother getting involved with me? What did you take me for? A tool to get over your heartbreak?" Luo Chuan's lips moved, a hint of hoarseness entering his voice. "I never used you. Yao Shi is excessively intense. She threatened me, wouldn't let me leave, forced me to remove the strawberry seeds for her." Tears blurred my vision again. I wiped them away harshly with the back of my hand. "So, You just stayed by her side, perfectly content, without a single thought for your girlfriend's well-being. I'm sorry. He uttered the apology woodenly. You certainly owe me an apology. From the moment you allowed Yao Shi into our lives, you stopped being worthy of my affection. The taxi I'd booked had arrived, pulling up beside us and honking its horn to urge me. Luo Chuan held onto my suitcase, trying to hide it behind him. Let go. He pretended not to hear, his grip tightening. Using all my strength, I pried his fingers open one by one. His fingertips were white from the strain, but he still refused to release it. Luo Chuan, this is pointless. I gripped the suitcase handle, my tone icy. Don't make me hate you. His hand on the handle trembled slightly. He lowered his gaze. Call me when you get home. Then he helped me put the suitcase in the taxi boot. I didn't wait for him to come around. Without hesitation, I got into the taxi. Lying on the sofa, I covered my face with a cushion. Images of Luo Chuan and Yao Shi together, looking affectionate, kept flashing in my mind. Tears fell without me realizing. I wiped them away mechanically, my whole body trembling. I forced myself not to think, stiffly blocking Luo Chuan on all platforms with numb fingers. In the first few days after moving back, I was in a terrible state, running a recurrent fever. I took sick leave from work. I called my best friend and poured out all my grievances to her. She took time off to accompany me to the hospital. Busy with registering, getting porcelain, buying medicine, constantly running around. She returned with some plain congee, her face full of anger, a piece of paper crumpled into a ball in her hand. She looked like she had something to say but was holding back. Knowing her as I did, I could guess. Ran into them? It wasn't surprising to run into Luo Chuan and Yao Shi at this hospital. I hadn't deliberately avoided them. I'd just gone to the one closest to home. My friend studied my expression carefully. Seeing I seemed composed, she took a deep breath. Does Luo Chuan have some sort of problem? He actually asked me to persuade you get back together with him. He said your issues were just minor squabbles. I really wanted to punch him. He's been too timing. And he has the nerve to be so self-righteous. How can he even say that? Doesn't he know what he's done? I swallowed a mouthful of congee and looked up. Don't be angry. He'll only think I'm being unreasonable. Don't know how to understanding him. He believes everything he did was forced by Yao Shi, that he had no choice, not realizing he was actually enjoying it. You didn't tell him I was here, did you? My friend bit into a gummy bear to vent his anger. No, I told him my boyfriend had a cold. He didn't even question it. I managed a bitter smile. His mind is so full of Yao Shi. There's no room for anything else. A week later, I finally felt more like myself and decided to bring Huan back to live with me. Luo Chuan hadn't changed the passcode lock, so I let myself in. The moment I pushed the door open, I saw Yao Shi lying in Luo Chuan's arms, reaching up to touch his Adam's apple. A flicker of desire colored Luo Chuan's dark eyes. He gently caught her wandering hand. The air was thick with ambiguous atmosphere. Seeing this scene, my heart twisted in pain. I felt utterly superfluous. Huan meowed. The couple on the sofa both looked towards me. Luo Chuan abruptly pushed Yao Shi off him and sprang up from the sofa, his body visibly rigid. Yao Shi frowned in momentary confusion, her eyes sweeping over me. How shameless. You've already broken up, yet you're still here pestering Luo Chuan. This is my home now. You're not welcome. And I don't want to see you again. I had only been gone a few days, and Yao Shi had already moved in openly, insulting me from a position of ownership. Suddenly, this entire relationship felt utterly laughable. What had I even been to him? My chest felt tight. I tried to keep my voice level. I've come to take Huan. I will absolutely not bother you again after this. As soon as I finished speaking, Yao Shi actually bent over laughing, as if I'd said something incredibly funny. She picked up Huan, her gaze openly mocking. You don't know. Yao Shi. Luo Chuan cut her off, his voice carrying a thin layer of anger and warning. Yao Shi couldn't stand his tone. She glared at him fiercely. Huan is a cat Luo Chuan and I adopted during university. I named her. She's a witness of our love. What right do you have to take her? My pupils dilated. I looked at Luo Chuan in disbelief. My voice trembled as I asked him, is what she's saying true? Let me explain. At the time, Yao Shi didn't want to keep her. Luo Chuan started towards me, as if to take my hand. I stared coldly at him. In that instant, all my anger and humiliation transformed into sharp blades, stabbing my heart one after another. I could almost hear my heart bleeding. My eyes filled with hatred. Was I that easy to fool? I believed everything you said, No wonder Huan had been so close to him and so wary of me when we first adopted her. He'd said her name was a blessing for me, a wish for a carefree, joyful life. Thinking about it now felt both laughable and nausea. Our love had been built on lies from the very beginning. A love propped up by countless lies was destined to collapse. Luo Chuan seemed wounded by my gaze. His face paled visibly. In an almost pleading tone, he called my name, Jiu Jiu. Looking at his face, he felt like a stranger. A wave of nausea surged within me. Don't call me that. I turned to leave decisively, but my wrist was suddenly seized in a tight grip. In the next moment, Luo Chuan pulled me into a confined embrace. He leaned close to my ear, his voice hoarse. Jiu Jiu, you said you'd always support me, that you'd never leave me. The familiar scent of Luo Chuan mixed with a woman's perfume stimulates my senses. Every cell in my body screamed in protest. Nausea rose in waves from my stomach, almost reaching my throat. I pushed him away with all my might and slapped him across the face. Don't touch me. Luo Chuan stood frozen, pain filling his eyes. Yao Shi, who had witnessed the entire scene, finally lost control and let out a sharp cry. Luo Chuan, you said you only ever loved me. Her eyes held a mixture of rage and sorrow. She bit her lip so hard it bled before finally releasing it. In an almost paranoid tone, she said, just you wait. I'll make you regret this. She suddenly shoved Luo Chuan aside and stormed out the door. Luo Chuan crashed into the wall, a flicker of pain distorting his features before he masked it. His long, dark lashes cast fan-like shadows over his eyes, hiding his emotions. I didn't want to decipher his thoughts or get involved in the tangled love, hate, infatuation, and entanglement between him and Yao Shi. Calmly averting my gaze, I opened the door and walked out, stepping into the lift. Just as the lift doors were about to close, I caught a glimpse through the gap of Luo Chuan sprinting past. About a month passed, and life gradually settled into calm. Just as I thought everything was over, I received a call from my best friend. Her cheerful laughter came through the phone. What goes around comes around. The scumbag finally got his comeuppance. Confused, I listened as she continued. Quick, check Weibo. He Chuan's been exposed online. I hung up and opened Weibo. The top search term was 8 years of youth fed to a dog. Baffled, I clicked in. It was a video. I recognized the location instantly outside Luo Chuan's office building. In the video, Yao Shi was holding a banner and a loudspeaker, crying her heart out as she denounced the scumbag. Luo Chuan's face was icy, his eyes seeming to spit fire as he tried to drag Yao Shi away, looking every bit the domestic abuser. A crowd of highly righteous bystanders blocked him, keeping him far from Yao Shi. More onlookers gathered, pointing and whispering at Luo Chuan. Even through the screen, I could feel their disgust. Finally unable to take it, Luo Chuan fled into his company building. Watching Luo Chuan's furious yet helpless expression, a wave of satisfaction washed over me. He was finally reaping what he had sown. The video kept spreading online. Yao Shi stepped forward with a statement, posting a long essay detailing the hard evidence against the scumbag. Luo Chuan and I were university classmates. We got together in our first year and became known as the campus's fairy tale couple. Later, we built our careers together. I always thought we'd grow old together, that I'd wear a wedding dress for him and become the happiest woman in the world. But I never imagined he would betray me. When I found a woman's lipstick stain on his white shirt, my whole world collapsed. I started secretly checking his bank statements and found he frequented nightclubs, using overtime as an excuse to stay out all night. He even dipped into the savings we set aside for our wedding to buy luxury goods for his mistress. In that moment, I completely broke down. The wedding I'd prayed for day and night was a joke in his eyes. 8 years of my youth, ultimately fed to a dog. Below were screenshots of Yao Shi's chats with Luo Chuan and some bank statements. After reading the essay, I was stunned, simultaneously amazed by Yao Shi's tactics, mixing truth and lies so seamlessly it was hard to tell them apart. Luo Chuan had been to nightclubs a few times, a friend of his owned one, and we'd occasionally go to unwind and relieve stress. As for the luxury items, some were indeed bought for me. The 8 years was complete nonsense. She and Luo Chuan had broken up right after graduating university. My WeChat chimed. Yao Shi's crazy words filled the screen. What I can't have, you won't get either. Finally, I understood her intention. She had destroyed Luo Chuan, turning him into a complete scumbag. If I were to get back together with him now, I'd likely be labeled a nightclub girl, a mistress. I replied, You're overthinking it. Only you like such rotten cabbage. I had the foresight to screenshot the chat, then blocked and deleted her. I initially planned to ignore it, but my WeChat and phone kept buzzing incessantly. Even my parents called, asking what had happened between Luo Chuan and me. I explained everything to them. But a few days later, someone actually dug up photos of me with Luo Chuan, branding me a mistress. The comments on Weibo were vicious. The first one I saw, "Mistress, go die." The second, "Nightclub girl, filthy beyond belief." A tidal wave of curses surged towards me online. Remembering how Luo Chuan had been fired, I immediately logged into Weibo. I uploaded all the evidence I'd previously gathered. Besides proving Yao Shi and Luo Chuan had broken up long ago and that my relationship with him was normal, I included many screenshots of their ambiguous WeChat chats. I stayed by my computer, watching as public opinion slowly shifted. Many acquaintances came forward to vouch for me. Overnight, public opinion completely reversed. Damn. So the supposed original partner was actually the other woman. Talk about the thief crying stop thief. Poor blogger. Betrayed by a scumbag and then framed by the other woman, many people sent me private messages, apologizing for their earlier extreme words. Yao Shi and Luo Chuan's Weibo accounts were completely overwhelmed. After staying up all night, I could finally sleep soundly. After that, Yao Shi seemed to vanish into thin air. Luo Chuan, however, went a bit mad. He started frequently appearing downstairs at my building, standing there for 2 or 3 hours at a time. Many people in the neighborhood recognized him, pointing and whispering, even taking photos to upload online. He remained silent, enduring the insults, refusing to leave. I always closed the curtains, out of sight, out of mind. When my landlady asked, I told her the truth: he was my two-timing ex-boyfriend. She was furious, grabbed a broom, and went downstairs to chase him away from me. One weekend, a heavy rainstorm hit. The wind howled outside the window, and dark clouds pressed down suffocatingly. My landlady called, her voice worried. "Jiao Su, that ex-boyfriend of yours is downstairs." In this pouring rain, the window was covered in rivulets, blurring the view outside. I could just make out a vague figure standing there. I picked up my phone. There were many unread messages. Opening them, they were all harassing texts from Luo Chuan. I'd blocked him countless times. Every time I blocked one number, he'd use another. Yao Shi's parents took her away. "She'll never bother us again. Jiu, you have to believe me. It's you I love. I was wrong. What should I do? How can I make you forgive me? Please, can you just reply to me once?" These pleading words didn't stir the slightest ripple in my heart. He was just taking advantage of my past love for him, trying to use my soft heart. But I didn't love him anymore. A sudden clap of thunder boomed outside. I gazed out the window for a few quiet minutes, then turned, grabbed an umbrella, and went downstairs. Luo Chuan's face was frighteningly pale, his expression haggard. He saw me and rasped out 2 words, Jiu. I stayed under the building's overhang, keeping myself dry. "Come here." As he came closer, I noticed his red-rimmed eyes. I couldn't tell if what flowed down his cheeks were tears or rain. Jiu, I've dealt with the Yao Shi situation. I promise, she'll never appear before you again." My face was tense. "Luo Chuan, don't you understand yet? No one waits in the same place forever. You can't expect me to keep chasing after you like a child begging for candy. Also, you probably don't realize how tender your eyes were when you looked at Yao Shi. She didn't force you. Everything you did for her, you did willingly." Luo Chuan denied it urgently, reaching out to grab me. His hand was trembling uncontrollably. From cold or something else? I didn't know. "No, that's not true. I love you. Only you. What I feel for her is guilt, not love." I ignored him, thrusting the umbrella into his hand, then turned to go upstairs. "Use it or not. Up to you." Luo Chuan's unwilling voice called after me, Jiu. I won't give up." A new intern named Zhang Ning joined our company and was assigned to me to show him the ropes. When we met, we both froze. He was the stranger who had saved me at the restaurant that day. Zhang Ning probably hadn't expected to see me again either. Perhaps to spare me embarrassment, he never mentioned the incident in front of me, let alone tried to claim any favor. Because of this, I took extra care of him. He was also very driven himself. To thank him, I invited him to dinner at a restaurant near the company. Just as we stepped out of the office building, Luo Chuan approached, holding a bouquet of flowers, pushing Zhang Ning aside. Jiu, these are your favorite pink roses. Please take them." A sarcastic smile curved my lips. "Luo Chuan, I never liked pink roses. You are the one who likes them. Luo Chuan wasn't a romantic person. He rarely prepared surprises for me. Gifts were things we bought together in stores. Whatever I liked, he'd buy. On our first Valentine's Day, he took me to a florist. I was immediately drawn to the carnations and was about to ask the florist to wrap them. But Luo Chuan pointed at the pink roses. Jiu, these suit you. Let's get these. I wanted to refuse, but seeing the fondness in his eyes, I swallowed my words and nodded. For every anniversary after that, he'd give me a bouquet of pink roses. Once, I finally couldn't take it anymore. Luo Chuan, I don't like pink roses. Get me carnations instead. Luo Chuan's eyes were dim and unclear, holding emotions I couldn't decipher. He said faintly, but I think pink roses suit Jiu best. Feeling wronged, I went to the florist myself and bought a bouquet of carnations, placing them in the living room. He saw them but said nothing. Luo Chuan was stunned, withdrawing the pink rose. What flowers do you like? I'll go buy them right now. Luo Chuan, that's enough. We were together for years, and you don't even know what flowers I like. Search your heart. Did you ever truly care about me? About my feelings? Luo Chuan's grip on the bouquet tightened. He said eagerly, I know I wasn't good enough before, but I'll change. I'll remember what you like from now on. No need. What you're doing is meaningless. I turned to Zhang Ning. Let's go. Luo Chuan followed us all the way into the restaurant and sat at the table next to ours. Zhang Ning and I chatted as we ate. Although a recent graduate, he was mature-minded with innovative ideas. I enjoyed our conversation. Luo Chuan's gaze remained fixed on me, never wavering. My irritability grew, and I quickened my pace. Miss Su, do you need me to see you home? Zhang Ning asked, glancing suggestively at Luo Chuan. It's fine. My place is nearby. Just a short walk. This was also why I hadn't moved despite Luo Chuan's harassment. The rented flat was in a great location, close to work. The only downside was the higher rent. After parting ways with Zhang Ning, Luo Chuan quickly caught up, questioning me. What's your relationship with him? Jiu, you can't abandon me. I met his gaze directly. We've broken up. You have no right to ask about my relationship with him. His face paled further, sad spilling from his eyes. Jiu, don't be so cruel to me. I have nothing left. Unmoved, I sneered. Heartless? Don't forget. You were the one who gave up on our relationship first. Having nothing left is what you deserve. I was young and foolish before. I wronged Yaoshi in many ways. I just wanted to make it up to her. I never thought of getting back together with her. I don't love her. His voice trailed off, tinged with guilt. Whether you love her or not, I don't know. What I know is that you don't love me. You just met me during your loneliest days. Stop following me. I walked into the residential complex without looking back, my heels clicking decisively. For a long time, Luo Chuan didn't appear again. I thought he'd given up. Our company recently landed a major project. I was the project lead. I've been extremely busy all day. Working late and pulling all-nighters became the norm. After finalizing the proposal, I rubbed my aching shoulders. It was already a.m. Looking around, my colleagues had all left. I packed up and left the office too. Under the dim yellow light, I noticed a dark shadow following me out of the corner of my eye. My heart tightened. The area was near nightclubs. Occasionally gangsters, drunkards, or even perverted stalkers appeared. Instantly, various speculations arose in my mind. Trembling inwardly, my hands and feet turned cold. I quickened my pace. A normally 10-minute walk felt excruciatingly long, as if I'd never reach home. The footsteps behind me also sped up. In my panic, I misstepped and twisted my ankle. A piercing pain shot from my ankle, sweat beading on my forehead from the pain. Suddenly, a pair of large hands grabbed my shoulders from behind. A creepy feeling crawled up my spine. I struggled desperately. Let go! Jiu, it's me. Don't be afraid. A familiar voice sounded in my ear. The terror in my heart turned to anger. I pushed Luo Chuan away with all my strength, glaring at him fiercely. Are you insane? Following me late at night like this? Luo Chuan froze, a hint of grievance in his voice. I saw you hadn't come home, so I came to your office to find you. I was afraid you'd be angry if you saw me. I looked at him expressionlessly, pointing at my swollen ankle. Is this the result you wanted? Are you satisfied? His face was full of guilt. I'm sorry. Sweat dampened my forehead. I wiped it away roughly, took off my high heels, and started hobbling forward. My body suddenly rose into the air. Luo Chuan had picked me up in his arms horizontally. Put me down. Stop moving. He frowned, his left arm tightening around my legs to keep me still. Unless you don't want to go to work tomorrow, thinking of my project bonus and potential promotion. I stopped struggling, turning my head away resolutely, refusing to look at his face. As soon as we reached my door, I issued the order to leave, pointing at it. You can go now. Luo Chuan seemed not to hear. He fetched a cushion to put under my feet, then went to the bathroom for a basin of hot water, applying a hot towel to my ankle. Watching his cautious appearance, I had a momentary trance. The scene felt so familiar. In the past, whenever my feet hurt from walking too much, Luo Chuan would always prepare hot water for me to soak them, then place my feet on his lap and massage them. Coming back to the present, the hot towel on my ankle had been changed countless times without my noticing. The pain gradually subsided. I was silent for a moment. Luo Chuan, there's no need for this. No matter how well you treat me now, it's impossible for us. I can't forget that she chose to abandon my life. Forget your ambiguity with Yao Shi. Forget your repeated deception. I can't stop thinking about these things. These memories were like barbs lodged in my heart, tearing it into a mangled flesh and blood mess. Luo Chuan's hands clearly paused. He lowered his eyes. I caused your sprain. I'm just trying to make up for you now. Don't overthink it. The water was changed, basin after basin. Finally, he stopped and told me, don't wear high heels tomorrow. Don't walk too much, I nodded. Just when I thought he might say something more, he turned and left, closing the door behind him. Because of my foot injury, Zhang Ning helped me with a lot of errands, including bringing me meals. He was a great help. One day, he returned injured, with bruises on his cheek, canthus and chin. His clothes were stained with spilled food. Miss Su, the food spilled on the way, so I bought another serving, he said, placing the packing bag on my desk, one hand covering his face, avoiding my gaze. Got into a fight? I frowned slightly. He waved his hand eagerly. No. I just fell and didn't protect my face. He was clearly not telling the truth. His eyes were evasive. Go change your clothes and clean up in the bathroom. I didn't press him. Probably guessed who he might have fought with. My phone chimed. A message from Luo Chuan. Jiu, did Zhang Ning complain to you? Listen to my explanation. He provoked me first, told me to stop pestering you. He's just a villain. Don't believe anything he says. He even said you two are together now, that I shouldn't bother his girlfriend anymore. Jiu, is it true? Do you really like him? I know I was wrong, but please, give me one more chance. Don't start liking someone else so quickly. I didn't deny my relationship with Zhang Ning. I simply replied, if you hit anyone again, I'll call the police directly. After a while, Zhang Ning came over awkwardly and explained what happened. It was true he had provoked Luo Chuan first. I just didn't want him bothering you anymore, Miss Su. I wanted him to back off. Someone as good as you deserves a better boyfriend. He looked at me and said seriously, if you truly love someone, you'd never let any harm come to them. Miss Su, please don't be soft-hearted. Don't look back. His tone was exactly like my best friend's. I also confirmed he didn't have feelings for me. There wasn't a trace of sentiment in his eyes. He just saw me as a friend he could confide in. Luo Chuan's injuries were more severe. He tried to half cover his face, not wanting me to see his embarrassment. I had no interest anyway. For the following month, no matter how late I worked, Luo Chuan was always waiting downstairs, following me silently from a distance. I encountered drunks once or twice. Terrified, Luo Chuan would step forward, swing his fists, and chase them away. The company's major project finally successfully secured the contract. I received a large bonus and even got a promotion. I texted Luo Chuan, inviting him to dinner at the restaurant of our first date. Luo Chuan arrived wearing a black windbreaker. He had a slender build, and I'd once said he looked best in a trench coat. He carried a large bouquet of carnations, his eyes full of smiles. He sat across from me, offering the flowers. Jiu, the carnations you like. My expression was calm. I pushed them back. You didn't give them when I wanted them. Now I don't want them anymore. The smile in Luo Chuan's eyes slowly faded. He looked at the menu on the table. Remember our first date here? We ordered expensive dishes and felt distressed for a long time. I interrupted his memory. Order whatever you want today. My treat. To thank you for your help during this period of time. After a pause, I added, if you want material thanks, that's fine too. Luo Chuan's eyes were filled with obscure dark light. He forced a bitter smile. Have we really come to this? I looked directly at him. My meaning is self-evident. He fell silent. After a long while, he started ordering the same dishes as back then. The taste of the food hadn't changed, but the people eating it had. I put down my chopsticks. I've applied for a transfer to the head office. I'm leaving this city tomorrow. Stop pestering me. Stop doing things for me. We started here, and now we end here completely. Luo Chuan lifted his red eyes, his voice trembling. Are you going with Zhang Ning? I shook my head in denial. Zhang Ning and I are just colleagues. A faint light appeared in his eyes. He was about to speak, but I ruthlessly shattered his illusion. But no matter who I end up with in the future, it won't be you. The light in his eyes was completely extinguished. He fell silent. I stood up, took my bag, and without another glance at him, turned and walked out of the restaurant. The end.